Hello everyone, my name is Chloe and today I am here with a brand new video. Today I am here, messy bun and all, to talk about the tons of books that I read in the month of May. As per usual, there are still a few days left in the month of May and I'm still going to be reading, hoping to finish more things, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But for now we're going to talk about the 12 things that I have completed so far, and I'm so pumped to talk about so many of these, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. First, I read Go the Distance by Jen Kalanita. This is the newest book in the Twisted Tales series. This one is a retelling of the Hercules story. What if Meg had to become a Greek god? I really enjoyed this one, especially after the last couple that have just been okay for me. This one was really good, not too long, probably about 300 pages. I gave it 4 stars. It was so enjoyable. I really enjoyed following Meg's journey throughout this book, and it was just so good. This is supposed to be set like at the end of the Hercules movie, so everything with Hercules has already happened, and now we're following Meg. Next, I read one of my most anticipated books of 2021, and that is Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez. This is the 3rd book in the Friend Zone trilogy. I'll be honest, I was not sure. Once I started this, I was like, I don't know how I was feeling. Oh my god, by the end, this book had won me over 100%. Every single character, everything going on, I was just, oh my god. This follows Adrian, who we briefly met in the 2nd book, and a new character named Vanessa, who we've never met before. Trigger warnings for hoarding and for drug abuse, but wow. This one was amazing, and I was a little worried because I do listen to the audiobooks and I really liked the narrator from the first 2, and it was a different person on this one, but I think I was won over on that end as well. This next book I completed, I'm not going to talk too much about, but it was Life and Death by Stephanie Meyer. This is Twilight Reimagined. I did a whole critical read vlog for this book. It kind of turned into more of just a review video, but I don't want to spoil that video, so I'll link it in the description below. This was my first time reading this version of Twilight, so everything was completely new to me, and I talk about it a lot in that video, so check that out in the description below. Next, I read 2 short story novellas set in the Once Upon a Con world by Ashley Poston. I'd like to thank Quirk Books for sending me these in the mail. This is Once at Midnight, and this is Once a Princess, both by Ashley Poston. This is set after the events of Geekerella, and this is set after the events of The Princess and the Fangirl. Both of these are cute little like 20 to 40 page short stories following different characters, and both were so good. I rated them both 5 stars. Now, because we have both of these, I'm really hoping we get a short story that's set with the characters from Bookish and the Beast, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Next, I finally came back to First Comes Like by Alicia Rai, the 3rd book in the Modern Love trilogy. I had picked this up earlier in the year, ended up just putting it down because I really wanted to use the audiobook. Finally picked it back up and finished it. I gave this one 4 stars. I'm not sure if I was completely sold on the couple for a little bit, but then I ended up really liking their romance towards the end. I don't have too much to say about this book, just that I enjoyed it and it was 4 stars. Next, oh my god. Next, I read, like, probably my most anticipated release for 2021, and it is totally on my favorites of the year. People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. This came out right at the beginning of May, and wow. I love Emily Henry. I hope she only writes romances for the rest of ever. Holy shit. I don't even know where to start. The characters I fell in love with so much. Poppy and Alex. Especially Alex. Read this book. Just read it. It's, oh my god, it's so amazing. And I just remember sitting on the couch finishing like the last 20 pages just crying. I was starting to tear up, and oh my god, it was so good. 5 stars. Definitely a favorite of the year. If you are like on the fence about this, don't be. Pick it up. It is so damn good. I recommend this to anybody and everybody. Like, everybody has to read this book now. The next book I read was The Magnolia Sword, A Ballad of Mulan by Sherry Thomas. This is the BookTube Chicks Book Club pick for the month of May. I'm not going to talk too much about it because we actually are doing a live show tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this channel, so make sure you go watch it. All I'm going to say now is that I gave this 3.5 stars, and I have some thoughts for the live show, so make sure you come join us and chat about this book with us. Next was a reread, and that was Of Curses and Kisses by Jimenez. This is the first book in the Rosetta Academy series, which is a contemporary modern retelling of fairy tales set at a boarding school. This one was a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I reread this for a little reread before the second book comes out in the series, which is Of Princes and Promises, releasing on June 8th. I'm actually currently reading an e-arc of that book from NetGalley. Thank you to NetGalley and the publisher for providing that, and we'll be writing a review as soon as I finish. So I just need a little refresher on the characters, which is why I reread this book. I rated it the same as I did before, which was 4 stars. Next, I read another anticipated release of 2021. This seems to be the month that I did that. It was Second First Impressions by Sally Thorne. I rated this 4 stars. Was the couple my absolute favorite? No, but I did find that the characters had charm that I liked. There were some side characters that were so funny. I was so happy with some side characters in here. Especially because the bulk of this book is set at a retirement facility. So you have a lot of senior citizens interacting with these young characters, and I loved that. This definitely does not beat The Hating Game. Nothing beats The Hating Game right now. But I thought this was cute, and I gave it 4 stars. Sally Thorne is going to be an auto-buy author for me. And I'm just really glad that I finally got to read this. The next book I read was an e-arc, and that was Better Together by Christine Riccio. We all know who Christine is. I wrote a very long review of this book on Goodreads, so I'm going to link that in the description below because I'm not going to mention everything. I rated this book 3.5 stars. I'd like to point out a big thing is that you can definitely tell that Christine's writing has grown from her first book to this second book. In her first book, which is Again But Better, the character is a carbon copy of her. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it doesn't really separate the character from herself. Now, I want everybody to know that I love Again But Better. I literally have 4 copies of it right here. So, in her first book, the main character it's basically Christine. In this book, we have 2 sisters, and they both have distinct personalities, which I thought were well formed and were helpful, and were definitely a sign of growth in her writing. This is a Parent Trap retelling, essentially. I think it was done in a very interesting way, and one other thing that I want to note about Christine's writing, before I just send you guys to the review, is that Christine in her books likes to use a hint of magical realism, and I think that this is fine. Like, I don't mind magical realism, but I think it needs to be executed well. Not to say that this isn't done poorly, but I do think there are some things that are a little too far-fetched to put into a contemporary. That being said, I'm going to link my review in the description below. You can read the whole thing, my full thoughts on this book. 3.5 stars. Check out all my other opinions on it down in that review. The last thing I completed was another reread, and that was My Favorite Half Night Stand by Christina Lauren. This was on my list of rereads that I wanted to do in 2021 because when I originally read this, I listened to the audiobook, and it was days before the shutdown and the pandemic really began. I remember listening to this book on my way to university campus, literally just days before everything shut down, and I never set foot on my campus ever again. That's not completely true. I've been back since. But I wanted to reread this because this book was read in a time that feels like 10 years ago, so I feel like I didn't fully get all of it. And I reread it, listening to the audiobook again, and I was not wrong the first time. It is still a 5-star read. It is still so good, and I still love these characters. So that is everything that I completed up to filming this video. A couple things that I'm actually going to be reading as the month is ending are some things that I'm currently reading. The first one that I did mention a little bit earlier was I am reading an e-arc of Princes and Promises by Jimenez. Thank you to NetGalley and the publisher for providing me with this e-arc in exchange for an honest review. Not very far, I'm only about 100 pages, so I have like 2/3 of the book left, but I am going to be writing a review and possibly doing a video for a social media tour for this book. So this is not the last you've heard of this book from me. And the second thing I'm reading, which is the audiobook I'm listening to, is Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. I'm trying really hard to finish this tonight, but this is, honestly, it's kind of shaping up to be my least favorite Christina Lauren book out of everything I've read by them. It's probably going to be a 3. I'm really not here with the main character. I am embarrassed for this main character. She is a little too much, in my opinion. I will say though, the ending of this book right now is shaping up to be better, but it's still probably just going to be 3 stars, so we'll see. Alright, that is all I have for this video today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. Down below in the comments, let me know what you guys read in the month of May. Let me know if you've read any of these, or just let me know. And if you don't want to let me know about any of that, leave an emoji in the comments below so I know that you watched this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure to check out my Patreon, linked in the description below. Check out all those reviews I'm linking in the description below, and join us for the BookTube Chicks Book Club tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard. Thank you all so much. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!
In the darkness, I don't feel so cold. The answers fall like rain, and somehow we're okay. A story drifts between shadows and smoke.